We are live. You don't know, you damn well should know. This is painful for me because I don't just listen for yourself. Everyone just speak for a second.
Hi.
Let's see if I can get my webcam out.
Wow.
It's like the most shit thing ever.
So first up, are those your real accents?
Yes,
Wow,
they are.
Fuck you.
I used to have
Are you
like a
12
great
or something?
hair.
Oh, that's real
No,
mature.
Let me get my
Uh,
fucking quality finish.
What the hell is wrong with your camera?
What happened to Darren?
It
Shit.
cost me 12
What
bucks,
have
so
you
what
been
else do I
rubbing on it?
expect? I'm just
You
trying to
been
get focus
licking it or
first.
something?
I'm just gonna fix focus first. Oh, fuck, I put it at the wrong.
You can't eat food through your camera.
Oh my god!
Maybe that's what you'd think in Australia, where the tech's so backwards. You probably still got dial-up, judging by your connection right now. But okay,
You
right.
you
So,
do know
where do
that
you
Australia has shit internet, right?
Yeah, pretty much like
Well,
your best internet in America is like considered just fucking like lightning speed. Life is pain.
Life is pain.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We have really bad Wi-Fi. It's like
anyway,
considered just fucking like lightning speed.
Australia is not a real place, and this live stream is to discuss
Come at me.
why.
You
it
better
is.
come at me. You want to come at me?
Oh
I'm
shit.
talking. You be quiet.
Wait.
I will talk, and I will stop talking.
Give him a
and then
chance
you
to
will
talk, guys.
My
Yes,
mic working?
let him talk.
My mic
Thank
even
you.
working?
The first sensible thing I've heard from an Australian ever.
That was Jake, wasn't it?
What?
Anyway, continue.
Okay, so I know you had some questions for me. So if you'd like to ask me any questions, you are now free to do so. I will answer
Yeah.
them to the best of my ability. But the main gist is, it's not a real place, and you're delusional.
Okay. So
Oh, man,
so
it's
I do.
delusional.
Okay. So
One
I
person
wanna
speaks at a time.
I wanna know, because we have searched like crazy. I've even asked paramedics and everything. Okay, and that Cairo-tini, what is it?
It's a hallucinogenic. I've already explained this.
Yeah, but
lots of times.
what's the
I
like
explained
active?
it in my book. I explained it to you.
Yeah, but what's the active sort of ingredients and stuff like that? Like, how does it work?
I'm not a chemist. I'm not a chemist. I don't know what the ingredients. I don't even know what's in water. Like, what is it? It's water.
You
Like,
don't
Do you know
even
what-
know
else do I
what's
know?
in water, my man.
Of course not.
How do you even live? Did you get a skull?
1 hydrogen, 2
At
oxygen
least I
is
went to
in
a
water.
real school.
1 hydrogen, 2 oxygens is in water, just so you know.
What is this, math now?
No, H2O,
Yes, yeah.
it's chemistry.
Science.
I just
Science
told
and
you I'm not a
chemistry.
chemist.
Okay, so you were saying that, like,
Oh my
Captain
God,
Cook
I was
discovered
only 12 years old
Australia. You were saying Captain Cook discovered Australia, okay? But Abel
Captain
Tasman
Birdseye.
actually discovered Australia. What do you think
Who
of that?
actually discovered?
Abel Tasman. He's from Dutch.
Who?
He's a Dutchman.
You can see what I look like.
Please say
Abel
that again.
Tasman, like
Can you spell that?
ABEL space TASMAN.
And what are you talking about?
So he's the one who discovered Australia.
I
And
thought Captain Birdseye discovered
no,
Australia.
Captain Cook did not discover Australia.
No, it was Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders did not discover Australia.
You
What?
know, I'm from
Now-
Sydney. I'm from
Yeah.
I
Sydney.
legitimately learned in year 1 that Captain Cook discovered Australia for white people.
No, yeah, so
you
Captain
just say
Cook
white
brought
people
over
don't
the
die?
convicts from
Well,
England,
indigenous
but he
people
didn't
already had
discover it.
Australia.
No,
You're all
the
speaking
Dutch
of-
were
One-
white too. But Captain Cook brought over the convicts. He didn't
Who the
discover it,
fuck
but he
is
brought over
Captain Cook?
some dude from England.
The guy who apparently discovered your fake country. I mean, that's why this is so absurd. I mean, that's the number one
Okay.
point as to why it's not a
Wait.
real place.
Alright. So
How
what
can your
is-
country be
what
real when
is
it's discovered
this
by
I-
a man who sounds like he founded some
quiet,
sort
be
of chicken
quiet.
dipper
I
company?
want to talk now.
Okay,
Well,
Okay.
I want to talk now, right?
you
Okay,
talk.
I want to talk.
Well, you may
Right,
talk. You
so-
have the floor.
go Jake. Go Jake.
Alright, so what I'm saying is Scotland is pretty shitty. It's the shittiest country in the world. Yep.
I am Scottish, mate.
Actually, that would be Brazil.
Agreed.
I have another question. Okay, so
Okay. Ask
it's
your
something
question.
that's been bothering me. So you said that everyone goes on a plane and they've got like these drug things going on and all that kind of stuff, right? But like the hallucinations and
Karen.
stuff, and that's how they hallucinate the whole holiday
You
thing.
know, Australia.
So how is
you
it
know,
that
Australia's
families?
pretty lit.
No, how is it that families have the same memories linked and then
Because
transferred into photographs?
I don't know the specifics of it. I don't know
Yeah.
how it works. I'm not some sort of chemical engineer.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Like, did
technician.
you go to school or did you drop out of school?
Yeah.
You be quiet
It's like
while I
basic
give
common
my answer.
sense.
I also.
Well,
Do-
it
do-
sounds
do
like
they
you
not
never went
teach
to
you-
Okay,
school. You
guys,
just
let him
jumped
talk.
out of fucking
Let him
school.
talk. I want to hear his answer.
Do they not teach you to communicate where you're from? Do you think it's fine to just when someone's having a discussion or a debate and you ask them a question, instead of letting them answer, do you think you just go blah 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 over the top of them?
Yes,
you were
actually I
do?
do.
Is
Yes.
that what you were taught to do?
And Jake's
Yes.
American, so you Americans are worse.
He lives in
Nah,
Australia
Americans
though.
are another
Yeah.
story.
So go on, Ryan.
Well, what was your question?
How is it that memories are linked between groups that travel together and transferred onto photographs?
Transferred onto photographs.
Yeah, because, you know,
Photoshop's
people
a pretty
take
prevalent
photos.
thing. I mean, anyone can Photoshop.
Yeah, but everybody would remember taking that photo.
You know, the photograph thing. I'll give you that there. I've
Yeah.
not thought about that one. I
Yeah.
don't know how that works. I haven't thought about. No one's brought that up. That's something I'll have to look into. I will have to look into that one,
Yeah,
because that's
easy.
mind boggle. That does boggle my mind. There must be an explanation for it, though.
I also have I've drawn you
There
a
must be an
diagram.
explanation for
I've
it, my
drawn you a
dude.
diagram, okay. So one thing
You
that
drew
bothered
a
me
Baby,
one
you got
thing
your
that
teacher's
bothered
board
me
back out.
okay, wait, let me talk because it'll go bigger and yeah. One thing that really bothers me about your concept, okay. It's not going
Wait,
bigger,
baby, I
but
need to
what
get my notes. I need to get my notepad out. I need to get my
No,
notes. I've tried to
okay.
notes for this class.
You
dude.
be quiet.
One thing that really bothers me is the boomerang magnets thing, okay? So I've got
Is
an
this
this is a
school?
simplified
Is this school now?
version of how it works. So you know how aeroplanes work, how the wings work? Boomerangs are very similar, okay? So you've got the air passing over the top and the
Wait,
bottom.
why the fuck are we learning about boomerangs?
It's important, okay?
Well, boomerangs are basically sticks, and you're just throwing them.
No, but it's important, okay? So the air travels underneath the boomerang and then goes over, which creates a lift, okay? And then you've got the shape of the boomerang, which creates a swing
And you got
effect.
the
And
shape,
that's
which is
how it
pretty
returns,
shitty.
okay?
Are you a physicist or something?
My grandpa's an
Okay,
engineer.
That's, your grandpa, that's not you.
My
That's
grandpa's
not
an
you.
yeah, but I spoke to him about it. He used to build airplanes and stuff like that, and he said it's the same
No, you used
concept.
to build
And then
boomerangs and put magnets
Mrs.
inside them.
Mrs. Grillbot, did I pass?
What?
they know me as
What?
Grillbot. Anyway, so yeah, like,
Bot, whatever
sure.
the fuck your name is.
But yeah. So that's another
What's
thing
the
that I
point of boomerangs?
So what's your
though?
question? I mean, you've not asked a
no,
question.
I
You're just
no, I
saying
was like,
boomerang.
so what do you think? I wanted to show you that because you were saying that they're magnets, whereas like that scientifically shows how it works. Whereas you know magnets, they tend to
Okay, well,
need larger sized magnets to reach the same force that you
I'm
were
gonna put something
describing.
right here and show you. I'm going to show you something right here about
Yeah.
boomerangs that disproves exactly what you are saying. Hold on, while
Go
I
right
pull
ahead.
it up.
Oh my
You're-
god,
you're
what is
gonna
this?
Take the words back. You're going to eat. That's the wrong one. This one. Okay. Do you see this?
Oh yeah, I've seen
You're not-
this video.
Oh,
Hold on.
is that you doing a damn boomerang?
Look,
Yeah.
I threw a
That's it.
boomerang. It didn't come back.
So how did you
How are
throw
we still
it?
debating about
No,
boomerangs?
how did you
Like,
throw
honestly.
it? Okay, how did you throw the
Alright.
boomerang? Like
Does
my
that really matter? I
yes,
threw
Yes,
it
it
didn't
matters.
match.
Boomerangs, you need a certain kind of flip for them to work, like Wingardium Leviosa, you know. Otherwise,
So it's Harry
they won't
Potter.
work.
That fits with the whole idea that it's not a real place; it's a fantasy land. Thank you for
Well,
putting that analogy in there.
you come from the land of, you know,
Burger King.
where
People piss
no,
Burger
he's from Scotland. You come from
I'm
the land
Scottish.
of like, you know, leprechauns, sort of.
No, that's Ireland.
That's Ireland.
You come from the land of men who wear skirts and dance with bagpipes and
I have never seen a
folklore
man wear
fairy.
a skirt, and if I did, I would punch him in the face.
You know,
And
kilts.
also, Bambi, it's called a kilt.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that's what it's called.
Hey,
mean,
what's
I-
wrong with wearing a skirt, dude? Like, you got everything hang free. Like, you're not restricted by pants. Everything can
Some
hang
of it
free.
doesn't sound
Go
like they've got
balls to the floor.
fucking some sort of speech disorder.
Sound like
speaking
his
dead.
actual friend.
He's just got a different dialect. That's all. It's not a speech disorder.
No, so it's you that's got the speech disorder.
Me?
Yeah.
Why do I have the speech
But guys,
disorder?
Guys,
I mean, it's pretty clear.
Garrett has a brain disorder. We should be concentrating on
I
that.
grew up
fuck up.
like I grew up with a British accent. It's only just faded. You should be used to it.
You're actually gonna kill me with these fucking accents. I mean, ugh,
Good.
they can't
See
be
you in
real.
hell.
They can't be real.
It can't be real.
What do you mean these accents can't be real?
How convinced
Of
you
course
guys
they're
are
real.
actors?
Well, it's
They are real.
happening.
You have the weirdest accent.
What, me?
No, him.
Oh my god.
Him.
Fucking say names, dude. Fuck out.
Ragray, that guy. Whoever that is.
Ragreynalds is
Yeah.
his name. Yeah. Sort
I
of like
didn't even
Ryan
know that.
Reynolds, and his first name is Ryan, but he isn't the same as Ryan Reynolds.
So Bobby just told me over TeamSpeak. I have no fucking idea.
Oh.
Anyway, do any of you have proof that Australia is a real place?
Well, also,
Go, search
no,
it on
there's a
Google.
lot of contradictions with things that you say, because you said that our spiders are bigger than birds here. Okay, there's only
but
one
they're not.
species of spider that's bigger than birds, which is you know, the huntsman. They can get up
Snow
to
White and the
20
Huntsman, isn't that a
centimeters
movie?
with the leg span, right?
Isn't
Which
that a movie?
20 centimeters is like this wide with the legs, right? So from
Okay,
leg
but
to
isn't
leg.
that a movie?
Huh?
Isn't
Be
that a
surprised.
movie?
A huntsman is a spider. There is a movie called The Huntsman, but it's also a spider.
So you're not talking about the movie?
No. Why would I be talking about the movie? I don't
Well,
even
that's
watch
what I thought
movies.
you were talking about. I mean, I mentioned Snow White, and then suddenly you started talking about a huntsman. So I assumed that that's what you were talking about.
I started the quote with spider,
What?
like the spider talk, and then said the largest species of spider is the huntsman. You know.
I think you've just got something wrong. I don't think you're understanding what I'm telling you.
No, I'm understanding. I just said the largest species of spider is
But what has
huntsman,
that
so I
got
don't
to
know
do
how.
with whether or not Australia is a real place?
Because I'm like basically mentioning the things that you've used as arguments to say that it's not a real place.
And what was my argument?
You said that how can Australia exist because they've got spiders bigger than birds. That's
I also
one of
said,
the.
how can Australia exist? You lost a war to a bunch of fucking dumb birds.
We didn't.
Well, the
The
war
Great
wasn't a
Emu
full-on
War.
front line. It wasn't a front-line
The-
war. It was like two dudes with machine guns trying to shoot emus.
And they lost.
Yeah,
The emus didn't have guns.
Do you know how hard they are to kill?
Do you know what
Especially up
emus
north,
are like?
right?
Have
How
you
hard
ever
you
seen
shoot
an
one.
emu?
They
I'll
fucking
take on the
scatter.
You give me a machine gun and I'll take on the entire fucking species of emus and I'll wipe them all out and then I'll eat them for dinner. That's what'll happen.
Apparently, they
Fucking-
taste really nice, actually, but a little bit watered down.
Okay. watered down over generations after your people apparently slaughtered them.
I mean, the flavor, you know, like the meat has been soaked slightly in water.
Why are we talking about this?
Because you brought up
Brought
eating
up.
emus.
Okay, but what's the flavor of emu got to do with anything?
I was
It's
just
a tasty.
saying.
I don't know why you're laughing.
Because it's kind of awkward. Because you brought up the subject and you were like,
Well, then
why are
ask
we
your
talking about
question.
this?
I mean, I thought you had a question for me. If you have one, ask it.
Well, I was wondering actually, because you seem to be very content in what you think about Australia and very set into mind. But is there
That
any
is not
questions
real.
you had for us about what it's like
Okay.
being here? Like, anything that you're curious about that you want us to answer?
I did wonder one thing.
Yeah? Go ahead.
You see, when I went to Australia, when I took my plane ride, and I was only kind of half drugged because I had taken a counter agent.
Yeah.
And when I got there,
The Euro thing.
I could still
Yeah.
see some things because I was only half drugged.
Yeah.
And when I was there, and from my memories and from my experience, I remember being in a breakfast restaurant.
Yeah.
A specific breakfast restaurant. All they sold was breakfast. And I was in there, and someone was eating snake for breakfast. Is that something that actually happens?
I've never eaten it, but I have heard of people eating snake.
For breakfast?
I honestly have never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Well, there you go.
So it's
there's,
not a-
there's
it's
proof
not a
that
common-
Australia doesn't exist.
it's not a
Again, I mean,
common
if no one's
thing.
eating it for breakfast, and I saw
Back
them
that
eating it
up.
for breakfast.
How would you back that up? So
It's
someone
in my
eating a
mind, it's my
snake,
memory,
and it's
sure.
not common in Australia, so Australia doesn't exist. How
Wait,
does that make
like,
sense?
Can you
Makes
support
perfect sense.
what you're saying with, like, because, like, a few of us are admins on a game server, right? And we'll be
On a
like,
dating server?
on a game, and we'll be like,
Oh,
hey, we'll be like, hey, you say this one thing, can you back it up with evidence to support yourself? So, like, basically, can you justify it? That's
Are
what.
you trying to teach me the rules of debate?
No, we're just curious to know what you would justify, like how to justify that, like
Well,
how
I'm
is that
justifying it
evidence?
by telling you. I'm telling you that's the fact. So you just
No,
take
but
my word. That's the
It's
fact.
more.
I'm just.
How is that evidence? Because we can't see where you got from part
Well, of
A
course,
to
it's
part B.
anecdotal evidence. It's
But-
anecdotal evidence.
Well, I'm a
Bambi,
bit
would you-
confused. You said that you went to Australia, but you
Yeah.
believe that Australia doesn't exist.
Yes.
You're telling
So,
the people
what,
who
it's
believe
not
the world
existing?
is flat.
I attempted
They
to go
haven't
to
watched. They haven't watched your videos, by the way. These guys.
Well,
Only
I
I.
attempted to go to Australia
Yeah.
to discover for myself whether or not it existed or not. I did some research. I found a group of people who also seemed to agree that Australia wasn't real, and they told me about a drug called chirotini, and that was a hallucinogen that was being given to people on flights to
They're
Australia.
fucking morons.
You be quiet. I'm telling
him
a
speak.
story.
Yeah.
So, I got on the flight and I had looked up what could counter this drug. It turned out that large amounts of vinegar would
Yeah.
counter the drug. Unfortunately, I hate vinegar. I managed to drink half a bottle of vinegar before I almost threw up. So, I only half got the effects. I didn't manage to fully counteract the drug. I only half countered the drug. So, what I experienced from my limited state of being aware was I was on a plane with other people. The plane landed in somewhere. I'm assuming it was New Zealand who created the Australia hoax. We landed there and we just sat in the plane for a whole week. We sat there for the whole trip. We just sat in the plane. And then when it was time to go home, we all flew back. Halfway through
It
the
was time
flight,
to go home.
were off, and everyone started talking about how great of a time they had. Me being the only one who actually knew what was going on.
Can I ask something?
Does that mean I've been
About-
dosed with drugs? Because I've been here
Yes.
for 12 years.
You have been drugged. You live in New Zealand.
Okay, can I ask?
I live in America because, fuck
No,
off.
You be
Alright.
quiet. No one cares about what you have to
So
say, little creepy boy.
I wanted to ask also, because you said that you found research. We tried our hardest to try and find this drug. Where did you find that
Okay.
research?
Well, I didn't find the research myself. I was told about it by other people
Yeah.
who
You were
are
told. That's
really
not what
delving
resource.
Australia deniers. They told me about it.
Yeah. So, but who told you about
No,
it?
why are you Australian?
Like, was
I
it
don't
was
know
it
who
Go back to
was
You
it
be
through
quiet,
was it
Jake.
through like one of those pages where they talk about like how Australia is fake and stuff like that? Was it through one of those group
It
pages
was
or
from
something?
people on 4chan who agreed with me that Australia was fake. And I asked anyone who had information about Australia to contact me before I went there. I gave them my Twitter and I got some DMs from them.
Okay.
You got some
So
DMs from them? No way.
Yeah, I
Oh
can
my
now
God, that's
understand where
you're
this
a
is going
liar.
now.
Cool.
Well, that's how we sort of started talking, isn't it? Because I DM'd you saying I'm a spy from Australia.
Yes, you
But
did.
yeah.
So if
You're
you
a
don't
liar.
believe in Australia, where does all the metal come from? Because I'm pretty
All
sure
the
New
what?
Zealand doesn't have much metal reserves. We
Where's
got
all the what come from?
You know,
that shit all.
metal reserves and
All
stuff
the
like that.
metal.
Because we have mines.
Metal.
We have mines.
Metal.
Okay, so
Medals.
all the geography books are wrong. Queen Elizabeth is a liar, and the government has a big conspiracy to make a fake country. What else
Yes,
you got?
New Zealand had the conspiracy. I
So
mean, I wouldn't be surprised if everyone else, every other
Queen
government,
Elizabeth
wasn't
is
in on it. I mean,
Australia. New Zealand has nothing to do with Australia. We're just close by neighbors. That's about it, and we're allies. That's about
right.
it.
Let me tell you a little history lesson here. Let me tell you a little history lesson here, Chip. Okay? I'm sure you're a real chip off the old block. Here's a little history lesson for you. So back before Captain Birdseye discovered Australia,
Abel discovered
there
Australia.
was New Zealand. And places were very separated, they were isolated from one another. New Zealand realized with emerging technologies and travelers that their country was absolute garbage. And that other people were going to discover them and think, oh my god, this is the worst place we've ever been. So the ruler of New Zealand at the time came up with a solution to that plan. Let's create another place that is worse than us, so that people might think we're bad, but at least we won't be the worst. So they cleared out an empty city in the middle of New Zealand and plonked a few people in there, drugged them, and started a whole new race of people living in this one little city and called it Australia.
You know that there's been indigenous people here for 60,000 years. White man got here in 1770, which I'm pretty sure the Dutch were here before us. So
Yeah, they
all
were.
those people have just been dosed
I
with
didn't even know what
drugs.
the word indigenous means.
I don't want to get like caught out being racist. I'm not going to say anything there.
So you're being
Indigenous
racist,
is
is
sort
what
of
you're
like
saying.
the natives. Yeah, that's like a way to describe it in simple terms.
I'm
What's
just trying to
better,
shut up now.
Scotland or America? I vote America.
Yeah, sorry, America's better.
Did you
than
say meerkat?
Meerkat.
Oh, is that a meerkat in the background? Is that what I'm hearing?
In America,
I've got a
Nike
dog.
is cheap. So
Who's going off at the
We're talking
moment?
about America.
There's Jake Paul in America. There's Logan Paul. There's some good
Why
YouTubers
are
in
we
America.
talking about
is it too
America?
late to nuke
I
America?
thought America's way better than stupid Scotland.
Jake, no one cares about what you have to say. So be quiet.
It's bigger,
Yo, if you
it
hear
has a
about
better
New Zealand
population.
history-
It's a
I've
better.
heard
Wait,
enough
I want to
from
hear what
you,
Jaren's
Jake.
saying. I want to hear what Jaren's
If
saying.
you know about New Zealand history, who the indigenous people then? What's their name?
Say that again.
Since you know so much.
Do you know about
Say that
the New Zealand indigenous people, like the natives?
I'm
Basically,
glad
the
you're
equivalent.
here to translate for me because I really don't understand what the retards are saying.
Ragreynalds.
No, I don't
Oh,
know
yeah,
much
retard.
about the New Zealand history. You be
Ragreynalds,
quiet. I'm
it's-
talking to
it's-
Randy
Wait, Chip,
or whatever
Chip,
the fuck her name is.
Chip
When
can-
I'm done speaking to her, then I might talk to you. So you sit in the corner and be quiet until I'm done talking to her, and then you can talk like a big boy. Okay, what were you saying?
Jaren was just saying, if you know about the history of New Zealand, what are the natives of New Zealand called, basically?
I don't know. I learned the last time I spoke to Australians that a kiwi is apparently something that isn't just a fruit. Apparently, it's also an accent or something.
Can I ask, do you believe in Tasmania?
I don't see. Wait a minute. Isn't that a thing with a Tasmanian devil? Isn't that a cartoon place?
Tasmania is an island up the shore. Well, not an island, it's actually a state, but it's up the
No,
shore of
I'm
Australia.
pretty sure it's a place from a cartoon.
No, it's an animal, and that cartoon was basically just named after
It was based in
Yeah, it's-
Tasmania.
Oh, so next you're going to be telling me Bugs Bunny is real.
Okay, these are the states of Australia.
I'm really
WA,
bad at drawing Australia,
Northern Territory,
but that's
South
Tasmania.
Australia, Queensland, Victoria, Tasmania,
That's
and New South
Australia.
Wales.
That was like
I'm
fucking
not a
dog
good
bone.
drawer. Okay.
No, my dude, there's something other than removing people from calls.
Blah blah blah. I don't care. Be quiet.
You salty cunt.
Just wondering, when did you start believing that Australia wasn't real?
Oh, when? Oh, exact date. I can't quite. Maybe 2 years ago. Because before
So the day
that,
you lost your brain.
I hated Australia. I was convinced it was terrible and the worst country ever, second to Brazil. Then I discovered, wait a minute, it's not that bad because it doesn't exist. And when I realized it doesn't
What-
exist,
what drew you to that point, though? Like, what made you click that apparently was a thing?
I will read you an anecdote
Okay, feel free.
from my book where I explain exactly what my thought was at the time.
Yeah.
You have a book?
Yeah, he wrote
Yeah,
wrote
what-
about.
what?
Yeah.
Can I buy one? How much you selling them for?
You can buy them. I'm not sure what the price is. I think it's on sale right now. You can check out the description of my YouTube videos or check the top of my Twitter,
Okay.
Or just go on eBay.
my pinned tweet, or eBay. eBay would probably work as well.
Is it on Kindle?
No one. Oh.
Not at the moment. My first book is though. Okay, right.
Can you not take 6 months to add one book? Do you think it's on Kindle?
He's just finding the page.
My first book is on Kindle. My second book is not yet.
Oh, you managed to get it on Kindle.
My first book.
People at Kindle actually got their asses.
Can I look it
You
up
be
and read it?
quiet while I read my story.
Yeah, let's get comfortable.
But wait, what if
Well,
I
let's
was to
get
tell
some
you
popcorn.
the next person to speak will be kicked out? But wait, what if I was to tell you that everything I just told you about Australia doesn't matter? Why wouldn't it matter, are you asking? Well, the answer to that is pretty simple. Australia doesn't exist. You see, for the longest time, I was pretty worked up over Australia. I simply could not handle the fact that such a terrible place could actually exist. I was mad because somehow, in some way, a place existed on planet Earth where all of the people sounded like they had speech disorders. They lived amongst animals you would only otherwise see watching in the night garden and had an all-around level of obnoxiousness rivaled only by the likes of myself and those annoying people that try to hand you flyers in the streets. So there, that is why. Because I realized that no one could possibly be as terrible and obnoxious as Australians, so obviously it wasn't real.
I could see that
You
being a trigger to be like, maybe I should look into this, but I wouldn't see that as this place is definitely not real.
Well,
If
that
that
was
makes
the first
sense.
little gear.
That's
Then I
like
found
the-
other
yeah.
people talking about the same thing I had thought. I saw people posting about maybe it's not a real place. I saw posts on 4chan. I saw posts on Facebook. I saw posts on Twitter. People
Hentai.
saying Australia isn't real. And at first I thought, oh, that's just a funny meme. And then I realized, wait a minute, there is truth to this. So I investigated. I did my research. I wrote articles. I put it in my book. I made videos about it. And people to
So-
I
this
have a
day
question.
are still sending me death threats for saying this stuff. And that's because they know I'm right and they want me gone.
Okay, I think Jake wanted to say something.
Jake, you may say something.
Could I say something, please?
Yeah,
Ask
yeah.
you a question?
Yes, you can.
All right, so you're talking about how Australia has like a speaking disability.
Well, yeah, it sounds like you do.
Well, no, I'm not from Australia, my dude, but it
It's
seems
American.
like you have more of a talking disability than they do. So, yeah.
Well, maybe that's for you to decide, but I mean, they certainly do as well.
I just wondering
So-
with your book, you went pretty deep in there for like a starting sentence. All the
Oh.
pages actually got words on them, or was it just a fake book?
Yes, this is. It's not just about Australia.
Hmm.
There is quite a lot in here.
How long did it take you to make this book?
This book, my first book, took me a month. This book took me about much longer.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
You have amazing patience. I can barely make it through like half a book, and you just fucking write in a book that takes like 6 months to make.
Thank you. I appreciate flattery.
Yeah. You
Next
should
question.
try NaNoWriMo actually. Like
I should try
it's
what?
NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month. So you write a novel in a month. It's 50,000 words. But yeah. But anyway, so
Okay.
it's worldwide. So I like there was something else I was going to ask you. Let me just find my notepad.
I thought you were prepared. No,
I
you have to
was,
actually
but I
read.
got this.
Wait, are you recording this? Are you recording this?
Yeah, it's going live to YouTube right now.
Oh, what's that stream? Let's see.
Yeah. But yeah, has it been anybody asking questions or anything in the chat?
No.
Because I'm not on the chat.
No one's been asking questions, but people have been speaking. People want to vote Jake off the island.
They want to vote.
Why?
That's great,
Don't
actually.
worry, on the
Listen.
GGS TeamSpeak, we all want him to fuck off.
Oh my god. Oh.
When you were drugged and apparently placed on a plane that just chilled in New Zealand for a bit, don't you think it would cost more just to have planes sit there for a week
Yeah.
than make a drug instead of just having a country that has...
Well, it's nothing
That's
to do with
self-sufficient.
costing.
What
Can I just
about
ask the name of your channel?
I can
Ragreynalds,
link it
the
to you.
same as
Yeah.
my username here.
But also there's what was it? There was a thing that I was going to ask you about. Oh, actually, you should tell them about, because you told me last time there was a city that we live
I
in
found it.
that's in New Zealand. So, did you want to
Yes.
explain that to these guys since they don't
Well, I
know
thought I
about
already
that?
touched on that. There was a specific city in New Zealand that was cleared out and people were put in there
Yeah.
and drugged.
So how is it
No
because
way.
how is it that because traveling, for instance, if I was to drive from here to Sydney, it'll take about 12 hours, right?
Okay.
How is it so large yet so
Well, I'd imagine your cars are like the Flintstones or something. I mean, you're just running on the spot, so it'll take you pretty a long time to get where you're going. I
we
mean, you
can
are
go
from
pretty fast in our cars, trust me.
But it was a backwards country, though. If it does exist, it's backwards anyway. So
No, but like it's more of a case of how is something so large able to be disclosed in another continent?
because you probably wouldn't be driving as far as you think you're driving. You have been drugged, remember, and this drug is very, very peculiar. I don't know the full details on what it's actually capable of.
How-
but it is capable of very severe hallucinations and strange phenomena. So
how do we get drugged?
Well, I mean, you're being drugged from birth. Imagine when you're living there. I mean, when you visit there, you're being drugged on the plane.
So if
When
I
you're
go to
living
my
there, you're
kitchen
probably
and
drugged
drink
from
some
birth.
vinegar, I can be cured.
If you drink enough of it,
Because
please double check.
you have to
like
drink enough of it.
we have this thing in Australia called salt and vinegar and chips. So
Okay, people have that here.
yeah, but we mix it up with tomato sauce and vinegar and stuff like that. And a lot of Aussies use a lot of vinegar. It's
Yeah, but
Shit, we're out of vinegar.
But you'd have to drink a whole bottle of vinegar.
Oh, Chip. I can
But
get
yeah,
you a high
I
on
know
some
people who have. I know people who drink a lot of vinegar to stay skinny and stuff like that.
A full bottle at once. I
What
doubt that.
type of vinegar as well? Because you said that it's vinegar, but there's different variations. So you've got red vinegar, white vinegar, apple cider vinegar, all that kind of stuff.
It was like a. I don't know the names of the vinegars, but the one I personally drank was like a dark color.
So probably red vinegar then. Yeah.
Maybe that's why it
You know
didn't
what?
work too well for me. Only half worked. Maybe if I drank a different kind, maybe that would have worked fully.
Maybe you could
hadn't
try.
thought of that.
You could try white vinegar. Yeah. And you said you went to Sydney, didn't you?
I did.
So I reckon if you ever travel again, you should go to Melbourne or Perth because they're completely different places. Like Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth, Tasmania, Adelaide,
Please
Darwin.
Why would I
Sydney.
care? Why would I care
Please.
to go to Sydney?
Because it's
Go
like
to
a
New Mexico.
completely.
You just
It's
want me to go get drugged on a plane again? Are
I'm
you one of
ju-
these date rapists or something? Do you do that to people you date?
no. I'm just saying because like
like it when people get drugged?
seem okay. So having excessive amounts of vinegar anyway, I imagine would not have the best effects
Bouncing
on
up
your
and
body.
down. What are you doing, Chip?
Having excessive amounts of vinegar probably would have negative effects on your body.
Oh,
Whereas,
of course it would.
yeah, because I imagine it would dehydrate you much in the same way that alcohol would dehydrate you. But I also think that from what it sounds like, you may have been on a drug binge. Because you were talking about how you go clubbing, you went clubbing at a strip club or something in it,
Oh,
And-
yummy.
and like, or even like that plus alcohol. Because if you went to a strip club, I imagine you would have had alcohol.
Well,
We got
no, I
this-
technically I didn't actually have alcohol because I was drugged on the plane. I wasn't actually. in a
Yeah,
strip
but
club.
how
I
did they
wasn't
drug you?
actually
Was
drugged.
it through They
Did I
can't.
just walk up
it
and
can't
stab you in the
just
arm with a
happen.
needle light?
Did they stab you in the needle? Did they give it to you
No.
through food? Was it
I'm
airborne?
pretty sure it's airborne. I'm pretty sure it comes through the air conditioning system in the plane.
What the fuck? You,
So the
I
pilot.
So
strongly
similar
doubt
to
it.
how they gas mice in a way and stuff when they're doing scientific experiments on them.
If people were gassing the mice,
Yeah, that's like when you dissect a mouse, they've actually gassed it that day. Yeah, but
Yes, like that. Or
Okay.
like if you look back to World War II, I'm sure it was the same kind of methods.
I was just wondering, how would they hide
Oh.
something?
funny.
So Australia's roughly the size of USA. Roughly.
The continental USA.
Were you
Yes.
not listening?
How would you hide
Roughly.
something that big?
he said that it's a
Because
city
not
and
as
it's not as big as what we think it is.
You're drugged.
Was like
you
it's-
think it's bigger.
Is it like a
No,
little
mate,
floating
yeah,
pebble in the middle
I
of the ocean?
mean, we do have a pretty high rate of fetal alcohol syndrome, so you're probably not wrong there.
See, I actually wrote about that in my book. I said it's if you want to kill an Australian very fast, the best way to do it is punch them in the liver. They will die instantly because they have bad livers.
I have never ever had alcohol, mate, and I don't plan on having it in my life.
I
you're
don't drink either.
Well, your
stupid.
parents did when they were
Fucking weak ass,
Your
dude.
mother did when she was
I've had
pregnant,
alcohol.
My
clearly.
dad was an alcoholic.
Blah blah
Cool.
blah. I don't care. That's nice. Moving on.
Yeah,
Do you guys have any more questions for Ryan here?
Do you
About
have
I do-
any irrefutable proof that Australia doesn't exist?
I got one.
Do you
Reagan,
have
are you
irrefutable
brain dead?
proof that Australia does
like
exist?
that we
Google
would be
search,
like
my dude. Google search it.
like do you have
Oh,
any
I
proof
can
that would make
Google
us go basically is what he's saying that we can't
Well, I mean,
contest at
There's
all.
nothing that you can say that's like a definitive, like, oh
I'm-
boy,
I'm
Also,
Italian.
could you send me some vinegar?
kabam! Oh,
In
I
your
want
mind,
to
I'm
like-
attacking your very being. I am attacking your nationality. Of course, you don't want to hear what I'm saying. Of course, you don't want to believe me. Because if you were to believe me, it would destroy your entire
Actually,
world. You
that's
would
not
think,
it.
no,
what
this
That's
is
is
actually the
my life?
Matrix. I'm in a coma. I'm hooked
He's
up with
also-
things.
He's also said to me last time, I was like, well, what can you I remember asking you something along the lines of, well, would you take in Australian refugees? And he was like, no.
Well, of course
Like,
I
would you
wouldn't.
not help
Why would I?
them? If you think it's such a
But
bad
dude, it
problem,
costs you nothing.
then
if
why-
If Australia doesn't exist, okay. If
Eh,
Australia doesn't
people
exist, how come you can accept non-existent refugees? It's pretty
The
easy. dude.
people
Like, come on.
exist. It's the place they claim to come
Yeah,
from
but-
that doesn't exist.
if you're so passionate
So are you
about this,
saying
why
they're
wouldn't you want to
aliens?
help the victims of this big social experiment, essentially?
Because I'm not a nice person. I'm a self-proclaimed bad guy. It says on
Yeah.
the back of my T-shirt, if I was
Oh,
not blazing
that
with
Is
fire,
Greg-
I would
like-
totally
my
shoot.
dude.
What
Holy
is
crap,
Greg-
you
No
guys
way,
are
you're
so
I have
bad.
a big
bad
question.
guy.
I have a big
Bro,
question,
how many
okay?
times have you
What does Greg think of this? You know, Inizion. Because I know
What-
you
what-
guys
what
are
was-
frenemies. Has he spoken to you? Yeah. I know you
Yeah,
guys
fuck
are
off.
like mates or whatnot. So what does he think of this?
I have not discussed this with him. Maybe I should.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because I'd
you
be
probably
curious to see
should.
what I'd be curious to see what Greg thinks. Because
No, tell him that half of Australians are vegans, and maybe he'll come on our side.
also
If
can you
you're
tell
here,
Greg
I
I'm
will-
really
I will send
sorry
him an
about
email.
leaking his Discord. Can he unban me now?
You leaked his Discord?
Yeah, I was the one who got like that had people posting like, you know, the gore porn on it and stuff by accident.
Wait, what the fuck?
I gave it
Good on you,
to some
Sonia,
people in another
Sonia.
Discord, and then it just spiraled.
Wait, Ragre, I have a question. What if the 26.29 million people in Australia exist and the small amount of people in Scotland don't?
I've already
Well,
asked
let me-
him that,
No,
and
no,
he
no,
said
no,
that
no.
you
I've
can't
gotta-
make
I've gotta-
Scotland up, basically.
I've got to ask this
I can't
question.
say
Yeah.
I am Scottish.
I want to hear
Oh,
this
wait.
question.
Wait, boys. Okay, so where would you propose that? Are you saying that Australians exist, but because we've got accents and stuff, right? We're not some sort of Hollywood actors.
Yeah,
But
it's
you're saying,
speech
like,
disorders, but yeah.
The location doesn't exist. Where would you propose we are at the moment?
You're in the middle of New Zealand. I've already went over this multiple times.
Yeah, but he wants a specific location.
Oh, yeah, mate. I'll just go over
Wait,
to
wait, I have a
go
question.
over
I have a question. Compare how many people? 323 million people to the 5 million people.
36.29.
There aren't
So,
that many
when
people
they're
in
drugged, are they
Australia.
like
In America, there are.
Have you been on
Really?
a peak hour train here? There's a lot of people.
Yeah,
Not
I've
that
been
many
crushed like
people.
4 times.
There are not millions of people on a peak hour train.
Okay, so if we say New Zealand has the population of fucking Australia in here, how are we supposed to feed them, fucking get all the resources that when we're a small fucking country?
Well, I've already explained this. There are not that many people. There are not millions and millions of Australians. There are.
Yes, there is. There's 24 million.
But
36 million!
No, mate.
24,
We're actually in the commune of New Zealand,
So
run by
you-
our sovereign leader Malcolm Turnbull.
Yeah.
Oh.
God
No,
bless him.
it's Tony Abbott. Tony Abbott's just been eating
Lord
so many onions at
Tonabet.
Australians, just been hiding his
Lord
house.
Tonabet. No, but seriously,
Bring back John Key.
there also with the whole I had a question about something that I felt was valuable, but it's gone because it popped to my brain.
Is it because of them Australia drugs, my dude?
Oh yeah, like that's what this is. It's totally not Barocca.
Okay. Everyone can ask or say one more thing each, and then we will end.
Are you brain dead?
Clearly not. Next.
Are you
Are
sure
you
about that?
retarded?
Next.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm-
guys,
You
don't
never
talk
answered
along
my
those lines. That's a
question.
bit-
Wait, let
Mentally ill.
let Frank talk.
No.
Okay.
Wait, what was the question?
What did
Are
you say,
you
Frank?
mentally ill?
Oh, probably. Next.
So I was actually wondering, just because I think it would give a bit of background about you. Do you ever, like, I don't mean this in an offensive way, I'm just curious. Do you ever do any form of illicit drugs or alcohol or anything like that? Is that something that you do in your...
The only drugs I ever do is heroin, because heroin is a cure for being a nerd.
That's
I
probably
think
why
that's
he doesn't
why.
believe in
Wait,
Australia.
what the
Yeah, I
fuck?
think we found the
This
problem.
I've
kid
only
go
done it
kill
twice.
himself.
You're full of it, mate. You're full of it.
I've only
This
done
kid
it
goes
twice.
I just
kill
doing it for the
himself.
money, boys. I'm out. This is so autistic. Clearly just doing it for the money so people wouldn't argue with you. So I'll buy my book and I'll prove to you that Australia's wrong, but clearly I'm just being
I'll buy like
autistic.
10 books and burn them all.
He got removed.
Good.
Does anyone have anything intelligent to say?
I feel like I've been quite
So
intelligent.
you didn't answer my question from earlier. Do you
What
believe in
was your-
Tasmania? Do you believe in Tasmania? It is technically a part of Australia, but it's far off, meaning
then
that it's
no.
making that
They also make a
No.
lot of chocolate there, and they have a prison there that you can actually see the people and stuff like that. It's
I
got
do
like
not
some of the
believe in
world's worst
Tasmania.
serial
Yeah, I
killers.
believe Tasmania.
I have a question.
Okay, I
Okay.
have one more question.
Wait, let
Have you
Jake.
ever overdosed on heroin?
No.
Are you
That's
sure?
such a shit question.
I am
Okay,
sure.
Frank. Frank, you tried to ask a question before. What was it?
You sound like you're on heroin right now.
I didn't.
Oh, I
I just
wish.
told everyone to stop making retarded questions
Oh.
because this man wants an intelligent discussion.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
exactly. So, Frank, do you have any
I have
questions
one
though?
more
Since
intelligent question.
If Australia was theoretically, from your perspective, inside of New Zealand, what would be the best government system to run a commune of Australia?
A supercomputer.
I don't know. I mean, to my knowledge, they're all drugged anyway, so it's pretty easy to control them.
Am I drugged
another
is the
question.
question?
A few,
you
I don't
sound
know
pretty
how long
drunk there,
ago,
mate.
but over a couple of million years ago, New Zealand broke off Australia. So without Australia, wouldn't New Zealand just not
Were you
exist?
alive a couple of million years ago? How do you know this?
No, but it's being passed down. There
Passed
is
down from who? Captain
from book
Birdseye?
to book.
No, it's Aboriginals. Aboriginal folktales actually passed down along with scientific
You're boring,
research has gone
goodbye.
into it.
Yeah, but to be fair, the Aboriginal IQ is something in like the low 60s, so I wouldn't even use that as
Who's
credible
getting
evidence.
kicked next?
This is who discovered Australia. Okay, this dude, Abel Tasman. Okay.
Oh, you go back to the Tasmanian devil again?
No, his last name's Tasman. He's Dutch. He's not from.
Jake, do you have anything else to say? Or can I kick you now? Goodbye,
I don't think he
Jake.
does have anything to
Okay.
say.
And now there were two. So, Frank, do you have any final questions?
No, I've just got to say that you're wrong, but I really you have provided some pretty good arguments. I mean, I'd like to reveal that I am actually I'm actually, you know, you've got us, you caught us. We're actually living in New Zealand, boys. Yeah.
I've had a few. I know he's gone now, but for anyone else, or if you do watch this back, I want you all to know that in my video comments for my Australia videos, I have had multiple people come out and say, "You're correct. I'm trying to get away from Australia. I'm scared for my life. The government are coming for me. I know the truth." So there are people who genuinely think that, unlike yourself, Frank, who was trying to be funny. These people aren't trying to be funny.
No,
They're scared for their lives.
One thing I was wondering actually is how do you differentiate them from the meme, if that makes sense? Like, how do you know that they're not taking the piss?
It's a good question. I'm not sure how I would say. I just kind of know. I can just read the words they're using.
So it's sort of the language that they use and the way that they display themselves that you sort of get a vibe about. Yeah.
Yes, it's just about judging it.
Yeah.
I would say that most of them are doing it for the meme.
Yeah.
Maybe 80% of them.
Yeah. But
Maybe
like,
even more than that.
what if somebody that you turn away is somebody who is apparently scared for their life?
Oh, well, so what?
Because wouldn't that make you feel a little bit guilty? You know?
No.
Okay.
I've already said I don't class myself as a nice person. I don't have much interest in doing things for the greater good. I do things to benefit myself.
Yeah.
And I just like to tell the truth as well. I mean, I'll tell the truth, I'll expose things, but if someone gets hurt in the process, I don't care.
Yeah. I'd actually be curious to, like, you know how you said there's other people like you, right? I'd be curious to actually do a live stream like that, but with those people as well, rather than you having all the Aussies on you or something. Oh, sorry.
Maybe I'll do that one time. Maybe.
Because I think that would be interesting to see other people's perspectives, because there's a lot of people out there who seem to have different ideas about what's going on. Make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, for
you
instance,
can have one more question. Do you have one last question?
I think that's all for the moment.
Okay, because I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you on the rag?
You know that in Australia that means that are you on your period?
Is this on the rag is the title of the show that you're on right now.
I'm sorry. Like in Australia, that means that you're on your period, and because we call it the rag,
What a
and
disgusting. Get out of here. You're disgusting.
I'm sorry. Oh my god.